Coming to you live from Wayne Profit Court, you're watching Midweek Women's Volleyball on LHSN as it's a battle for the Berg with the Lynchburg Hornets welcoming the Randolph College Wildcats to Turner Gymnasium. Welcome up to the broadcast booth, everybody. TJ Wingert here to take you through all the fun. We want to say thank you for spending some time with us on your Tuesday night. And we'll showcase some of the numbers coming into tonight's match, but we'll also highlight the recent stretch. And, well, these two teams were very active on this very court over the weekend, with both teams taking part of a quad match here on Wayne Profit Court. It was a split for Randolph and a pair of victories via the sweep for Lynchburg coming against Kenyon College as well as Johnson and Wales. And before that, 4-match losing streak for Randolph, 3-game conference losing streak for Lynchburg. So both teams looking to carry their weekend momentum into conference play this evening. And there's a ton of names we have to highlight coming into this contest, starting with the visiting Wildcats. Brooklyn Finerty, how about second in the conference in blocks per set? And who's first? How about Brooke Murdoch? And Murdoch also first in the country in total blocks this season. So certainly a challenge for the Lynchburg offense, and orchestrating that offense is Maya Green. How about first in the conference in both total assists as well as assists per set? And then highlighting here Sophia Rucker coming off a career best 12 kills in the win against Johnson and Wales. Played really well in both those matches for Lynchburg on Saturday afternoon. And those are just some of the names to know. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll introduce the starting lineup for both teams. So don't go anywhere. You're watching a Battle of the Berg Women's Volleyball Edition on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic in Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
Players out on the hardwood. Let's introduce tonight's starting lineup, starting with the visiting Randolph Wildcats, doing it in numerical orders. The junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia, Melody Washington, the team best 305 assists this season, followed by Madison Daniels, the junior from Warrenton, Virginia. Then it's one of our players to note, Brooklyn Finnerty. Then reigning ODAC Farm Bureau Scholar Athlete of the Year, Tommy Lauren McGinnis, the senior from Ringgold, Virginia, followed by Logan Warren, another junior. Then it's Brooke Murdoch, the other of the two players we noted at the top of the broadcast for Randolph, and rounding things out, senior from Cartersville, Virginia, number 24, Nikki Hurt. And on the other side for Lynchburg, libero is going to be number 2, Cassie Blackmore, currently one of the top players in the conference in regards to total digs as well as digs per set. Defensive specialist number 3, Jordan Bartemeyer. Then all-conference honoree each of the last 2 seasons, Abby Leeper, the senior from Midlothian, Virginia. Then one of our 2 players to note, Maya Green as the center with 564 assists this season. And then rounding things out is Princess Salafu, and Sophia Rucker. Those 2 in the middle are going to be a dynamic duo and something to keep your eye on this afternoon. And then rounding it out is Kaylee Keough, the impressive freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Coming to tonight's contest, Lynchburg 9th in the conference standings. Randolph right behind them at 10th. A game and a half worth of separation in conference standings. So Lynchburg will not be surpassed by Randolph tonight, but it could go down to as little as a half-game difference between the two sides. Meanwhile, if Lynchburg wins, it can go up to a 2.5-game lead over their crosstown foe. And it's Lynchburg who strikes first. The point garnered by Abby Leeper. Enters today with a team best 225 kills this season. First serve for Lynchburg comes from the impressive freshman from Nolensville, Tennessee, Cassie Blackmore. Blackmore this season with 19 aces. Shoots it to the 5. Set comes from Washington. Randolph able to duel the block, and we're netted up 1-all. May note this at the start of the broadcast, but Randolph with a weekend split came up short in the opening game of our quad match, 3-0 against Kenya before bouncing back, sweeping Johnson & Wales 3-0. Serve goes to Leeper. Green returns the favor. The senior denied. There's that middle block for the Wildcats. Winding up. Blackmore the first to touch it. No one's there for the second for the Hornets. And now Randolph takes the 2-1 lead as back to the service line goes Tommy Lauren McGinnis. 14 aces this season. And as noted, reigning Farm Bureau Scholar Athlete of the Year for the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. Off the arms of Blackmore. Receiving error makes it 3-1 Wildcats. And prior to the weekend splits, Randolph had a tough stretch, 4-match losing streak. Lynchburg not much better at 3 consecutive losses. So it's 2 teams looking to turn their non-conference success this weekend into some conference beneficial play and try to make their way up the conference standings, as we've reached that time of the year where we have to talk postseason implications. Nice roll from the far side. Lynchburg cuts the deficit in half. And we'll see our first subs for the Hornets. Jordan Bartemeyer out to the bench, and on comes Bree Spainhour as we await the serve from Maya Green. Serve goes to the 6th. There is the libero, then blocked to the net. Point awarded to Lynchburg. Nice initial play from Madison Daniels, handling the low line drive serve from Green. And with the sophomore now back to the line, 21 aces this season. Chance to give Lynchburg the lead once more. Serve to the 5. Washington sets it up from the back line. Comes from Lauren McGinnis. Leeper for Lynchburg misses long. So next to serve for Randolph will be Brooke Murdoch. 146 kills so far this season for Murdoch. But a country best in total blocks, 2nd in the country in blocks per set. Whistles on the play, and it's going to be a point awarded to Lynchburg. Next to serve for the Hornets is going to be Morgan Clark. Serve goes to the 6th. A little bit of miscommunication. Ultimately, it's Daniels taking the 3rd from the back line. Lynchburg wants it drawn up for Sophia Rucker. Keough forced to send it over on 3. Washington sends it back. Nice hit taken by Logan Warren. So what's the difference between a pair of Lynchburg defenders, and back and forth this first set has played out. Subs on for the Wildcats as checking in now. Looks to be Callie Martin, and Martin will serve. Or instead that looks to be Jada Dominich at the line. Serve goes to Blackmore, then Clark, with Keogh taking the third from the back line. First and third hit comes from Nikki Hart, and Hart doubles the Wildcat advantage. Green sets, Keogh takes, misses wide on the near side. Now an attack error. 3-point advantage for Randolph. Macon want to close out my point here. About 97 blocks this year for Brooke Murdoch. Gaudy numbers put up by redshirt freshman. Miscommunication. Blackmore lays out but can't get to it. Randolph puts together a very impressive run to force the first timeout called by either side. It's taken by third-year head coach Hannah Gibbons. Originally named the interim head coach in the April of 2020, then named head coach full-time in March 2021, has seen this Lynchburg program make the postseason picture each of the last 2 seasons before having their season concluded in the ODAC quarterfinals last year against Bridgewater, which should be noted. Bridgewater currently top player in the ODAC conference standings at 7-0 in conference play, just ahead of Washington to lead 8-1, and then Randolph-Macon at 7-1. Coach Gibbons looking to talk it over with her squad, and I really appreciate her approach when talking to her team during these timeouts. Gives the first portion of the stoppage to her team, lets players talk amongst themselves, and then about midway through, right around that 45-second mark of the minute 15 timeout, give or take, Coach Gibbons then will step in and compound on what was already talked about or add in some new additional thoughts. This is a young Lynchburg team, 10 freshmen of the 16 on the roster. And here Coach Gibbons looking for some inspired play out of the break, getting a little bit of a boost due to the service error from Dominich, who had 27 aces entering today's play. And now Rucker serves for the Hornets. Again, a career best 12 kills in the win against Johnson and Wales. Back set, Hart takes the third, then in and out of the hands of Spainhour as Maya Green had laid out trying to make a play on it. She was unavailable. Take a second hit. Rucker subs out. Libero switch as Blackmore returns to the court of play, and now serving is Viviana Gustin. Sophomore hailing from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Looking to tack on to what's already a 4-point advantage for Randolph. Serve goes to Clark. Green wants Salafu. First to defend there is Mackenzie Woodson. Salafu with another attempt. Played back by the libero Daniels. Over. Great hustle from the Randolph defense. Strong strike. Spainhour sends it straight down to Daniels, who was able to dig it up, but no one thereafter for Randolph. 9-6 Wildcats lead over the Hornets as Jordan Bartemeyer back out onto the hardwood and will serve for Lynchburg, a sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina. 19 aces, 122 digs this season to go along with 14 assists. The defensive specialist finds libero Daniels from the back line. Hit comes from Gustin, playing it soft, laying out, unable to get to it. Looked to be Morgan Clark. A valiant effort. The lead grows back to 4 as we await the serve from Madison Daniels with 15 assists, or excuse me, aces this season. Misses long. Couple of service errors now for Randolph. We've seen 1 attack error for the Wildcats, 2 for Lynchburg. Still in the early goings. Keogh serves. Taking it from the near side is Woodson. Now Leeper does the same for Lynchburg. Really nice play, but played over on the first. Keogh with Green. Slide for Salafu. Blocked at the net. Bartemeyer keeps it alive. Now Leeper from the far side. Gets it down just in front of the outstretched arm of Daniels. Nice recovery for the Lynchburg squad, and you're going to see a whole lot of that this afternoon. Again, that middle block combination in the middle. Finnerty and Murdoch, 2 of the best that do it. a block per set basis inside the conference. A reception error for the Wildcats, and now Lynchburg knock on the door, potentially tying us up 10-all. Keogh once again at the service line. Danwini Gustin gets to it. Strong strike from the middle. Looked to be Murdoch winning the point for Randolph. When you talk about those 97 blocks, 146 kills is nothing to scoff at. That's second best for this Randolph team, trailing just Finnerty, who has 165. Melody Washington will serve. Sends it to the 5. There is Keogh. Leeper takes the third. The roll shot sent right back over. Blackmore builds. Leeper takes the hit. Once again, sent over on the first touch. This time it was Daniels. Salafu from the middle. Blocked once again, then gets the first. Green, hard strike on the second. Once again, that middle block there to deflect. Lynchburg does the same. Green, Salafu, played up by Washington. Great volley between these two sides. Green tries to play it quick on the second. Salafu, Bartemeyer puts it over on the third. Washington wanted Murdoch, blocked by Salafu. Keogh from the back line, denied, laying out. Leeper can't get to it. Murdoch, Logan Warren, as well as Woodson making up that front line currently for Randolph. They have built a brick wall. Lynchburg looking to build over. Salafu plays it on the near side. Great hustle from Daniels, but the right idea from Salafu. Green over on 2. Daniels to the far side. Strike misses long from Warren. Sophia Rucker will check in as Princess Salafu now heads to the bench. Blackmore to serve. There's Daniels. One-handed set for Washington. And then Murdoch finds the net. 1 point differential once again. We've seen Randolph stretch this out by as many as 4 here in this first set. But Lynchburg's been able to battle back and keep it close. Last year, Lynchburg won 3-1 at Randolph. Washington for Murdoch this time. The freshman gets it over. 2-point advantage now for the Wildcats. Talk about the 3-1 win last year for Lynchburg. And all told, it's 2 consecutive wins in the series history for Lynchburg. Before the 3-1 victory last year, it was the converted playing in the spring due to COVID-19, and that was a sweep for the Hornets, and that marked the first sweep in this series history since Lynchburg took down Randolph in straight sets in 2017, and the first time doing it at Randolph since 2016. Leeper earns the point, and now Green will serve for Lynchburg. To the 1. There to pick it up initially was Tommy Lauren McGinnis from the back line. Keogh blocked by Murdoch. And now Murdoch back to the service line. It's 1.41 blocks per set. 97 total blocks entering today's contest, and Murdoch already adding to that total. But then a service error gives the point right back to the Hornets. Morgan Clark checks in for Abby Leeper, and Clark will have the honors of the line. Early on, as Leeper heads to the bench, game high 4 kills. Murdoch on the other side has 3. Fielded by Hart. Washington trying to set up Finnerty. Player in the net. They'll save Finnerty on the strike. Made contact with the net, and we're tied up 14 apiece. Clark looking to give Lynchburg the lead. Hart with Blackmore laying out, then Green. Keogh pops it up and over the net for hit number 3. Slide. Clark there again defensively. Back set Green. Spainhour denied to the net. Sent up high then. Green for Keogh. Plays it to the back line. Finds the opening and lands it out in front of Tommy Lauren McGinnis. And Keogh, so many times on that far side, is looking for the cross-court hit. Clearly, Randolph saw the scouting report. Nice adjustment midair for Keogh. Try to play it close to that far sideline. Now the serve misses long, and we're tied up once again. Now it's Randolph with subs. Serving will be Dominic, who just checked in. The other sub being Ainsley Simmons, a sophomore from Fincastle, Virginia. Dominic over to Clark. Receiving error, 16-15 Wildcats. Nice serve, Dominic flirts with the top of the net, gets it over, and Clark had a tough decision. One, would it get over? Two, was it going to be in or out? First ace for either side. Dominic follows it up. Low serve to Blackmore. Couldn't field it. Lead back up to 3 for Randolph. So as noted, back-to-back wins in this series history for Lynchburg. The last win for Randolph came in October of 2019. Spainhour sends it off the fingertips of Finnerty and then out of play. Much needed point for Lynchburg, who, by the way, the Hornets first to 15 and then first to 20 in all 6 sets they played over the weekend against Kenyon and Johnson and Wales. Weren't the first to 15. For correction, they were. Have some work to do, try to be the first to 20. There's Rucker. Green, back to Spainhour. Rolls it over, laying out. There's Daniels. Been very active defensively tonight. Hart with the player in the net. It's going to go against Lynchburg. This looks like they gestured Cassie Blackmore as the player who was in the net, but Blackmore just checked in, so unsure exactly who that call went against, but nonetheless, 3-point advantage once again for Randolph. Keogh pushes hard to the back line, taking it from the near side. This is Woodson laying out his Green, but no second touch for Lynchburg. Serving once again will be Viviana Gustin, but first, the second time out of the set called by head coach Hannah Givens. Will take this opportunity to highlight the resume for Randolph. 9th-year head coach Kara Matthews, not all 9 years as the head coach, so she was originally hired in 2012 as an assistant, then elevated to the interim position in 2014, and then that 2014 season proved to be a very strong one for Randolph. Coach Matthews then elevated to a full-time head coaching role in 2015. Was another standout season, and that year, Coach Matthews picked up a win against then Lynchburg College, who, by the way, Matthews spent her 4 years of playing here in the Hill City, playing for the Hornets. But that win in 2015 for Randolph against Lynchburg was the first that the Wildcats had garnered against the Hornets since 1997. So Coach Matthews able to end that long drought. And again, 2014-2015 staple seasons for this Randolph volleyball program. And in 2014, it actually marked the first ODAC tournament appearance since 1997. So again, going back to those 2 years. Really standing out now, Matthews looking to get this team back to where they were at that point. Once again, a former player for Lynchburg College. Also served as a team captain for 2 seasons for the Liberty Club Beach Volleyball squad. So done it on a couple different surfaces as well. And now it's Coach Matthews looking to take down her former squad. Leading 20-16. Gustin at the line. Right before the timeout, we were talking about being the first to 15 and 20. First to 20, here's Randolph. Spainhour with a strike. Daniels couldn't field it. And a timeout and a missile lead to some momentum on Lynchburg's side. Bartemeyer just subbed in, and it'll be the sophomore to serve. Quick, a conversation on the near sideline. Looks to be Dominic talking over with our head official. Unsure exactly what is being discussed. And now, second official comes over. And as we deliberate, should be noted this is just the fourth home match, third day this season that Lynchburg's really gotten to play at home, as they had 2 home matches on Saturday. Before that, the home opener in a Code Red match against Randolph-Macon on the 28th of September. Leading into tonight, Lynchburg trails by 3. Bartemeyer with the honors to serve. Low liner just gets over the net. Daniels takes the first hit for Randolph. And then after Blackmore, the first to it for Lynchburg, had to go into the nets. And Lynchburg with 4 touches now trails by 4. Daniels will serve. Serve goes to Clark. The slide for Salafu, blocked at the net once again. How many times have you heard me say that already? Now it's Keogh denied. Salafu over on the third. No one's there for Randolph. They'll say it did hit the hardwood. 18th point of the set for the Hornets, trying to keep it close. Abby Leeper will return to the court. Checking in for Morgan Clark. We await the serve from Kaylee Keogh. Set comes from Dominic. And Dominic will be called for the double. Dominic with 222 assists this season, trailing just Melody Washington to lead the way for Randolph. Keogh finds Woodson. Finnerty leaves it long. We're back to a 1-point difference. And now will be a timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. We've seen 3 of the 4 possible timeouts in this set used. The first 2 taken by Coach Givens, and now Coach Matthews wants to talk it over with her squad. And we've seen Lynchburg come out of the huddles a little bit of extra gusto, and Coach Matthews hoping for the same here during this timeout. Lynchburg going back to their home record, 2-1. Both those wins coming on Saturday. And on the other side, Randolph is looking for some road success, though not a long travel for the Wildcats. But coming into today, it was a road record sitting at 3-4 compared to a 3-3 home record, 4-3 when playing on neutral sites. Players out onto the court already for the Wildcats. There's more of that conversation being had on the near sideline between Dominic and 2 of our referees. But after the timeouts called by Coach Kara Matthews, Keogh looks to tie it up for the Hornets. Serve finds Gustin. Strong hit from the far side. And in the net is Abby Leeper. Subs on for Randolph as Washington checks back in and will serve. The other sub is the starter Logan Warren. Keogh can't handle the serve. Randolph 2 points away from making it a 1-0 set lead. Washington serves to Bartemeyer. Green sets. Leeper blocked, but then sent out of play. So now it returns to Cassie Blackmore. Serve once again, finds Woodson. Leeper takes the first. Rucker, soft on the third. Just enough touch to get it up and over that middle block. But soft enough to have it land just in front of Warren. Serve goes to Gustin. Washington able to keep it in. Hit from the back line, taken by Woodson. Leaper, far side. Couldn't keep it in. That game of inches, Lynchburg narrowly misses the opportunity to tie us up instead. Set point for the Wildcats. Woodson to serve. 5 aces coming to today's contest. Keogh there, and then Rucker once more. Soft, and then plays it towards the near side. It feels as though the Lynchburg native and sophomore has found the crack in that Randolph block. Now it's Green serving. Looking to tie us up. Knuckling serve, dug up by Woodson. Murdoch brings it close to the opening sets. 25-23, Randolph jumps out in front 1-0. We're going to take a pause, and when we come back, it's set 2 between the Lynchburg Hornets and the Randolph Wildcats in the 28th all-time meeting between the two sides. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Women's Volleyball on LHSN.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you, and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here, you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. We're good.
Sweet. See you later.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me. I'm just happy to be here. I might go crazy.
Randolph takes set 1, 25-22. We'll run you through some of the numbers from that opening set. Make it 25-23, I do beg your pardon. But 32 attacks for Randolph results in 13 kills for Lynchburg on their side. 45 attacks to get to that 13-kill mark. When it comes to service errors, 3 for Randolph, just 1 for Lynchburg. Attack errors, 6 for the Hornets, 5 for the Wildcats. And then reception errors, that was the one area I'm sure Coach Gibbons is talking over with their squad, knowing they had to be better here in set 2. How about 5 receiving errors for the Hornets to just 1 for the Wildcats? We'll see if that Lynchburg defense can clean up. And obviously with the 2-point difference in set 1, that proved to be the difference. The Hornets will have the opening serve. It'll come from Kaylee Keogh. Lynchburg swept Randolph last year at Randolph College. Wildcats, already with a set win, will avoid that outcome tonight. Washington to Murdoch. Now Leeper takes the first strike for set 2 on the side of the Hornets. 1-0 Lynchburg with Keogh back to the line. And talking about some of the individual marks, that's now 5 kills for Abby Leeper on 12 total attacks. Leading the way for Randolph is Brooke Murdoch with 4. Behind her is Nikki Hart, who has 3 kills. Serve goes to Daniels. Washington pushes it out wide, blocked to the net. Looks like Warren just found the net instead. 2-0 Lynchburg lead now. Going down more of the stat sheet. 4 assists for both setters today for Randolph, Washington, and Dominich. Few again serves to the 6. Murdoch from the middle. Finds the top of the net. Leeper. Blackmore. Now Leeper, Green took the first for the Hornets. Washington able to get it back. Now punched over the net by McGinnis. Washington lays out, but then it goes off the arm of Hart. No more building for Randolph. And a quick 3-0 run to start set 2 in the favor of Lynchburg. Serve goes to Hart this time. Finnerty can't get it over. 4-0 run for the Hornets. Going down more of the stat sheet. 12 assists to this point in the game for Coach Maya Green. We have an early timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. We'll take this moment, take a quick pause. You're watching Lynchburg and Randolph. Hornets lead the Wildcats in set 2, 4-0.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere.
Welcome back to Turner Gymnasium. Kaylee Keogh still at the service line. Washington wanted Finnerty, playing it over on the second. It was blocked by Salafu, then a gentle tap from Maya Green makes it 5-0 Lynchburg. Sub on for Randolph. Nikki Hart checks out, and stepping onto the hardwood now is Viviana Gustin. Strong start to set 2 as Lynchburg looks to even it up 1 set apiece. Serve goes right to the freshly checked in Gustin. Murdoch sends it straight to Keogh, who off of her forearms, then out of play. Now 4 kills tonight for Murdoch. Randolph with a chance to build a run of their own. Serve comes from McGinnis. Green pushes to the near side. Leeper blocked. Finnerty, second of the ODAC in blocks per set. Got her first to set 2 this evening. McGinnis, 14 aces this season. The senior has 156 digs centering tonight's play. Green wants Leeper once again, looking back line, misses long. So a timeout for Coach Kara Matthews pays dividends. Serve goes to the 1. There's Keogh. Salafu wins the point for the Hornets. Princess Salafu, 101 kills entering tonight's play. Checks out now, and on comes Sophia Rucker. Blackmore serves to Hart. Washington sends it back to Hart. Bartemeyer. Then Blackmore with Bartemeyer able to get it over in the third. Great recovery for Lynchburg. Murdoch Another point earned by the ever-impressive freshman. Murdoch, though, will check out now. Serve comes from the libero Daniels. Green with a slide for Rucker. Daniels, then Washington before Finnerty takes the third. Green to Keogh. Soft. The second comes from McGinnis. Then into the rafters it goes. Washington waits patiently and able to get it over the net. Green, leaper from the middle. It's deflected. And last touched by Randolph. And then it went out of play. 7-4 Hornets as Maya Green will serve now. Bartemeyer checks out. Bree Spainauer back onto the court. Once a 5-0 lead for Lynchburg. Now just a 2-point advantage as Green with the service error. Finnerty will check out, as does Washington, as Dominic will serve. The other sub was Ainsley Simmons. Keogh soft on the third touch. Dominic for Finnerty, laying out as Keogh. Then Green able to play it over. Dominic tried to catch Lynchburg sleeping. Spainauer from the far side. Daniels gobbles it up from the back line. McGinnis finds Green. Blackmore for Leaper, who then finds the net. Rucker there, clean it up. Another chance for Lynchburg. Spainauer finds McGinnis. Dominic again on the second. Blackmore back to Leaper. And first to it was Dominic. Blackmore just able to get it over. Dominic sets, taking the hits. Simmons, now Green, assisted by Blackmore. Long volley, hard from the far side, deflected by, looks like Blackmore with a miscommunication. Keogh right there in the vicinity as well. Long point, Randolph. Now another point away from tying us up. A long volley like that. Momentum always up for grabs. Nice serve, Dominic. Receiving error from Keogh. Tied up 7-all. Coach Givens up from the bench. Moves Leaper over towards the far side as Dominic will serve to Keogh. Back set from Green. There's Leaper playing it up the near sideline. And it's now 8-7 Lynchburg. Near sideline from Leaper's perspective. Far sideline from you and our camera's perspective, of course. Clark in and will serve as Leaper heads to the bench. And Clark promptly finds the net. Knotted up once again 8-all with Nikki Hart. Set to serve for Randolph, but first, Mackenzie Woodson checks back in. McGinnis now to the sideline. Hart, it's 5 aces coming into today's play. Senior from Cartersville, Virginia. Spainauer leaves it wide on that right sideline. Serve goes to Clark. Back set, Green trying to set up Spainauer. Blocked, but then sent out of play. Spainauer able to tool the block. 4th kill of the match for the freshman from Rural Hall, North Carolina. Rucker serves to Daniels. Dominic with a slide. Finnerty moves Randolph back in front. And Murdoch will check back in as Daniel subs out. Finnerty will serve, so now you have both players to watch for Randolph on the hardwood. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, Green is out there. But no Rucker, as Princess Salafu instead, the middle blocker. Service error, and after that 5-0 run, to open up this set, you see the 5-2 run in response, make it 7-2 run in response for Randolph. And since then, back and forth, these two teams have gone. Bartemeyer serves to Hart. Dominic, Murdoch, tipped at the net, but still finds the center and soft spot of that Lynchburg defense. Subs for Lynchburg, Washington back in and will serve. Logan Warren also returns to the hardwood. Bartemeyer able to take the first. Keogh blocked, then deflected out of play off the arms of Warren. Really nice adjustment mid-play there from Bartemeyer. Looks like for about 90% of that ball's journey over the net, she was confident that's going out. Then at the last second realizes it's staying in. Able to course correct, and Lynchburg ultimately wins the point. Keogh to the service line to start our second set. There once again, it's pushed out of play from Warren. Keogh serves once again in the direction of Hart. Leaper there to dig up the first. Salafu takes the third, deflected a couple times, but then on the fourth, it's now 13-11 Lynchburg. So Kaylee Keogh once more at the service line. Again, attacks hard. Washington with the second. Hart then pats it down. Hart will check out, and Viviana Gustin subs on in her place. Will this change the strategy here for Keogh, who had been picking on Hart over the last few attempts? Soft serve. Gustin digs it up. Washington out wide. Warren leaves it long. And it'll be a timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. This Randolph team, both times Lynchburg's unable to run. There have not been much of a response for Randolph and have a hard time creating long volleys. But with the timeout, we'll step aside. You're watching Lynchburg and Randolph. Hornets lead the Wildcats 15-11.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Welcome back to Wayne Prophet Court. 4-point advantage for the Hornets, and Kaylee Keogh back at the service line. 5-0 run to start up the second set. Lynchburg on another long run here as Keogh serves. There is Gustin. Strong strike. Warren brings to close that run and garners a much-needed stop for Randolph, now 15-12. Head percentage for Lynchburg was at 15.6% that first set. And fueling a couple of long runs here in the second set, 27.8%. McGinnis will have the honors for Randolph. Serve sent to Keogh. Leaper on the near side. Soft. Washington on the first. Finnerty was unable to bend it back in play. Instead, leaves it wide of the post on top of the net. Ergo out of play. 16-12 Lynchburg lead now. Here's Blackmore. Strong serve, right to Daniels. Washington with Murdoch taking the third, blocked to the net. McGinnis now for Hart, rolls shot. There's Leaper to defend. Rucker takes the third for Lynchburg. Warren plays it over for Randolph. Green pushes near side. Leaper blocked. Flag goes up, and after the deflection, goes out on Randolph. 5-point advantage for the Hornets. That matches their largest lead of the night. Serve to Daniels. Denied by the net is Hart. And Coach Hannah Gibbons, before the home opener against Randolph-Macon, put a big emphasis on that first set as one that really dictates how this Lynchburg squad plays from then onward. If they win the first set, they play loose, free, and that's exactly what we saw over the weekend. Sometimes when they drop that first set, this team understands, hey, we got to get it back in the second, but that can lead to a little too much pressure building upon themselves. As Leaper makes it a 7-point advantage for Lynchburg. The reason I make note of that is on that play, really kind of sums up what we've seen here in the second set. Haven't seen any extra pressure on the shoulders of the Hornets. Instead, a great response after dropping set 1, 25-23. Cassie Blackmore misses on the near side, leaving it wide and out of play. Randolph needs a long run. Lynchburg the first to 15 and a point away from being the first to 20. Rucker plays it soft. Murdoch adjusts. We'll see how these trends continue to play out. Moving chess pieces on the board. That first set, those roll shots from Rucker really caused some havoc against that Randolph defense. Strong strike for Leaper. Two players. Great hustle. Washington a step away from getting to it, laying out with Finnerty, but couldn't get to it, and the Hornets are the first to 20. Bartemeyer checks out, bringing Spainhour on in her place as Green will serve. A southpaw to the 5. Warren with authority earns the serve back for Randolph. 2 subs on for the Wildcats. To take the serve will be Jada Dominich. And joining her on the hardwood is Ainsley Simmons. Been that rotation all night long so far. Then we'll see Washington and McInnes check in as well. Leaper tools the block. Point goes right back to the Hornets. Leaper will sub out. Morgan Clark will check in and serve for Coach Hannah Gibbons. Serve goes to Libero Daniels. Hit from the back line. Hart would have had a point, but the hand of Dominich touched it. It was reactionary. Nonetheless, off the hand of Dominich. Out of play, point 22 for Lynchburg. Low line drive serve again to Daniels. Hart deflected at the net, then Green. Couldn't get to it, but Coach Gibbons excited on the sideline. That was a good block put up by Rucker. Nikki Hurt will serve. Finds Rucker. Green pushes it near side. Keogh. Thunderous strike. Now on the far side, Spainhour right to Hurt. Has it go strong and into the net. Finnerty sticks with it. Punches it over. Now Keogh soft. There is Dominich. The third comes from Simmons. Green back set. Spainhour finds Daniels. Deflected in the rafters. And Randolph can't get it over on the third. It's a really tough play. Woodson had to go find it, track it down, was then in the net, and as she tries to pop it up, instead finds the net. 23-15. Potential first set win of the night in sight for the Hornets. Rucker gets it over. And Randolph will be called for the double. The guilty party is Dominich. Set point. Rucker to the 6. Dominich sets up Hurt, taking the strike from the back line. Clark back to Rucker. A little bit of confusion, but Rucker able to play it over. Slide. Finnerty Clark takes the second, no one there for the third. Finnerty serves. Keogh takes the attack. And over the line goes Murdoch. 25-16, Lynchburg responds and takes set 2 to put us at 1 set apiece as we step aside. And when we come back, a decisive third set between the Hornets and the Wildcats coming to you here on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
One set apiece as we get set for set 3 getting underway. Do want to make a quick note. I was mispronouncing Nikki Hurt. I do apologize to the senior from Cartersville, Virginia. Nikki Hurt. You won't hear me say Hart the rest of the night. I do promise you that. And it'll be Randolph getting us started in set 3. Jada Dominich will have the honors. Update you on where the stats sit coming into this third set. Hit percentage for Lynchburg at 25%, for Randolph at 16.7. Where we are right now, 30 digs for the Wildcats, 31 for Lynchburg, 28 kills for the hosting Hornets, and 22 for the visiting Wildcats. And I'll sprinkle in some more of these numbers throughout set number 3. Both sides are out on the court. And we await the official go-ahead. Now Dominich has it. One of the two setters we've seen this evening for Randolph. 9 assists so far. Leaper! First point of set 3 goes the way of the Hornets. Rucker will check in for Salafu, and it'll be Cassie Blackmore with the first serve for Lynchburg. Leaper, stellar as always, now 13 kills this evening. Blackmore able to get it to the one, now pushed out of play by Murdoch. Serve to the 6, there's Daniels. Popped up by Dominic. Rucker called in the net. Two 2-1. It'll be McGinnis to serve now. Leaper. Then Green takes the second. Was blocked. Randolph builds in response. Missing long. Point goes to the Hornets. It looked to be Simmons coming in from the back line, taking that last hit. From one number 9 to another, Maya Green will serve for Lynchburg. Green so far this afternoon, 26 assists, and has her first ace of the night. And it'll go down as the 22nd of her sophomore campaign. Hurt gives way to McGinnis. Blackmore trying to feed Leaper, blocked at the net. Rucker able to get it over on the third after a couple of really nice plays from two Lynchburg defenders. It looks like Leaper took the second. I believe it was either Blackmore or Green who laid out and got the first touch. Nonetheless, positive result for the Hornets, who now lead 5-1. You go back to that first set where Lynchburg had 5 receiving errors as Green misses long on the serve. But to finish that point, 5 reception errors for Lynchburg in set 1 and just 1 for the Wildcats. And a 25-23 set 1 win for the Wildcats. That's certainly a point you look back to and say, hey, if that goes a little different, the outcome could certainly be different. With how good Lynchburg's looked in set 2, and then here in set 3, a missile from Leaper into the rafters, flicks around a couple times, and lands down softly to make it a 4-point Lynchburg lead. All that to say, Lynchburg, Coach Givens, ton of credit to both. Been able to correct those mistakes from set 1 and have looked like a completely different team from that point onward. 6-2, Hornets lead. Clark serves to the 5. There's Hurt. Dominic for Finnerty. Blocked by Rucker. Randolph keeps it alive. Daniels able to get it up and over the net. Green catches the Wildcats sleeping, and I likened it to baseball pitcher on Saturday as we have a timeout on the floor. I'll finish that analogy when we return. 7-2, Lynchburg leads Randolph in set 3. You're watching the Hornets and the Wildcats on LHSN. Early portions of set 3 garner a 7-2 lead for Lynchburg over the Randolph Wildcats. There's a 5-0 run to start set 2. Great serve from Clark. Works just over the net and then off the forearms of Hurt. And it'll be Clark once again at the service line. Her first ace on the night, and it goes down as the 13th of her freshman season. This time the serve misses long, and now I get the chance to go back and finish my point about Maya Green, who really played it quite coy on the second and won the point for Lynchburg that then induced the timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. And I liken it to a pitcher in baseball. It's playoff time. Yordan Alvarez just hit a walk-off home run for the Astros, and what it is a pitcher, you're trying to have your fastball and your wind-up in it look the exact same as your changeup, curveball, slider, and that's what Green does. Every set looks the same, and then when she plays it over in the second, a defense has seen it so many times, they're thinking body motion, and that's going to be something she's setting up for a teammate. Instead, she sends it over in the middle of your defense, and you're left wondering what went wrong. But tangent aside, it's now 9-3 Lynchburg. As Sophia Rucker looks to put the Hornets into double figures. Washington takes the second. Hurt plays it over for the Wildcats. Rucker, then Spainhour, who misses long. It's the deficit down to 5 for Coach Matthews and company. Hurt serves it away. Sends it to Keogh. Salafu takes the third. Net is moving, and it goes against Randolph. Call goes against Brooklyn Finnerty. Now Lynchburg will have a sub check on. It's Jordan Bartemeyer subbing in for Bree Spainhour. Serve goes to Dustin, who then has a little bit of a communication miscue with Mackenzie Woodson. It's amazing in the sport of volleyball. You'd think 6 players in such a confined space to be able to get to every ball, but that's part of the challenge. Communication, you ever worked with 6 people in that close of a proximity? Well, communication always seems to be a factor. As Lynchburg with yet another ace, the third of set 3. Bartemeyer pushes Lynchburg out in front by 8. Good serve from Bartemeyer. Now it's Washington, the setter, playing it over in 2. Salafu takes the third for Lynchburg. And once again, trying to put it over in 2. This time it was Finnerty trying to push it over a little early, but goes into the net. And Bartemeyer and the Hornets a point away from taking a double-digit lead, which would by far and away be the largest advantage we've seen from either side tonight. Another ace for Bartemeyer, and there's your 10-point advantage. My oh my, has this Lynchburg team turned it up to another level. Another timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. 14-4 your score. Lynchburg looking to make it a 2-1 set advantage over their crosstown rival. Don't go anywhere. You're watching women's volleyball on LHSN.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me. I'm just happy to be here. I might go crazy.
Still Jordan Bartemeyer at the service line for Lynchburg, leading 14-4. Midway through set number 3, the Wildcats took the opening set 25-23. Lynchburg takes set 2 25-16, just in case you missed any of the action. And here in set 3, it has been all Lynchburg. Serve goes to Daniels. Back set from Washington, and a missile put down by Finnerty. That was the second timeout called by Coach Matthews. Then strong strike from Finnerty. Maybe this can spark some momentum for Randolph, looking to get back into set 3. Finnerty now at the line to serve. Finds the net. And every step forward here in set 3 has led to at least one step back for the Wildcats. Viviana Gustin checks back in, subs on for Lynchburg as well, including Abby Barlow, who will serve now for the Hornets. First time we've seen the freshman from T. Virginia out on the court tonight. 8 aces, 119 digs so far this season. McGinnis takes the third. Leaper gets the first and third for Lynchburg, sent over and covered quite some distance after it was dug up by Warren. Lynchburg plays it soft this time round, and the lead grows to 11. Barlow serves to Gustin. Murdoch wins the point for the Wildcats. And Brooke Murdoch was an absolute factor in that first set. Since then, you've heard me call her name fewer and far between. Lynchburg's done a good job being able to get strikes up and playing it more finesse, getting it up and over that middle block. And because of that, you've taken away one component of Murdoch's game. And here in the third set, Randolph's had a really tough time building back in response to Lynchburg's serve. Therefore, we haven't gotten to see a whole lot of Murdoch here in set 3. Bertemeyer with the first, then Green setting up Leaper. Hit from the back line, left long by Warren. Already 5 errors here in set 3. That's exactly how many Randolph had in the first, and then 6 all through the second. Murdoch. So what's the difference between Barlow and Blackmore? There's only so much you can do against Brooke Murdoch. Now 8 kills on the night through 19 total attacks. Bartemeyer lays out. Able to get it up and over the nets, and then off the arms of Warren, then back into the net. Maybe not how Lynchburg drew it up, but take the points all the same. 2 more subs on for the Hornets, including Alexis Shaw. First time we see Shaw out on the court this evening, and then Bree Spainhour on for Bartemeyer. (18-7) Lynchburg. Green serves it away. Dominic for Murdoch. Now Randolph really trying to get Murdoch involved offensively. McGinnis from the back line misses wide on the near sideline. Green serves to Warren. Dominic looking to get it back to the junior. Blocked to the net. Dominic gets it back, and Warren, low liner, just gets over the net, but lands just in front of the outstretched arms of Blackmore. Now Daniels will serve for Randolph. Green jump set, the slide. Shaw denied at the net. Green now tries for a leaper, pushes just beyond the reach of McGinnis. Clark now with the honors to serve. Sends it straight to Warren. Gets the feed from Dominic. Green for Shaw. Blocked. Dug up by Clark. Spainhour. But then Blackmore able to get it up and over. A slide. And a nice one at that. Finnerty wins the point for Randolph, who now trails by 11, 20-9. Subs on as we await the serve from freshly checked in Viviana Gustin. Another player checking in is the setter Melody Washington. Gustin serves to Keogh. Shaw blocked once more. Blackmore for Keogh. Denied at first. Randolph then able to build and get it over. Blackmore with Green setting. Spainhour denied. And this near side block put up by Finnerty and Warren presented some problems. Last few chances for Lynchburg. Serve comes near side. There is Clark. Green pushes Keogh. Off the block, then into the net. Lynchburg 4 points away from making it 2 sets, 1. Or 2-1 advantage for Lynchburg. And on to serve now will be Shaw. Another sub as Keogh checks out. Out comes Landon Spots, freshman from Bridgewater, Virginia. Washington, Finnerty, just able to get it down on that far sideline. Shaw now checks out. Libero subs in. That's Blackmore. So we await the serve from Warren, but first checking in is Mackenzie Woodson. Out goes McGinnis. Clark fields the serve. Winning the points is Spots, fresh after checking in. Her 3rd kill of her freshman campaign. Spainhour out, Bartemeyer in. We saw Bartemeyer earlier this set fuel a long run for Lynchburg. And Bartemeyer this evening with 2 aces, both come in this set. And ties her with Kaylee Keogh for a team best this evening. Finesse play up and over. Finnerty, the roll shot. Deficit back down to 10. And the freshman from Lynchburg, Virginia will now have the honors to serve. Green pushes for Spots. Lynchburg now 2 points away from winning their 2nd set. Clark will check out. Leaper will sub on. Spots will serve. And the freshman leaves it long. Now Randolph with a pair of substitutions, including Ainsley Simmons and Jada Dominic, who will serve. Lynchburg attempted to make a sub. Spots out with Barlow checking back in. Box checked. Subs in. Now the serve from Dominic. Barlow digs it up. Slide for Salafu. Just misses wide on the near sideline. Didn't miss by much. Nonetheless, the attack error brings the deficit back into single digits. Just over the net comes the serve from Dominic. Salafu tries again. Leaper lays out. Great hustle from the senior. Green soft on the 3rd. And Lynchburg now just a point away from making it a 2-1 set advantage after dropping the opening set of play. Blackmore looking to close it out. Instead finds the net. (24-15) as Tommy Lauren McGinnis steps the line for Randolph. Barlow there to defend. Rucker, make that shot from the middle. Green then leaves it wide left. McGinnis serves once again. Leaper finds finds Daniels. Blackmore, Green, Leaper. Deflected up. Dominic then finds Warren, who fuels what's been a nice run here towards the end of set 3. 7-point difference now. Little 3-0 run and may not ultimately change the outcome of set 3, but it might fuel some momentum before we get into a decisive set 4. Murdoch sends it back over. Leaper Soft laying out, and sitting it out of play was Warren. 25-17, Randolph fights back, but nonetheless still falls in set 3. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll see if Lynchburg can close it out in the 4th. You're watching the Hornets and the Wildcats in a battle for the Berg on LHSN.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you, and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here, you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. We're good.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Moments away from getting underway with set 4 as Lynchburg looks to make it 3 consecutive wins against their crosstown rival Randolph. Meanwhile, the Wildcats looking to score their 4th all-time win against Lynchburg and their 3rd over the last 8 years of action. Kaylee Keough serves and gets us underway in set 4. Strike from the far side, dug up then by Lynchburg. It was Simmons taking the strike for the Wildcats. Another one played down hard. Looks like it was Murdoch to take a cross-court strike. Lynchburg's defense flexes its muscles, and it's the Hornets who open scoring. And the win tonight, Lynchburg would get back to 9-9 on the season. Would certainly be a great point to work back towards after a 3-game conference losing streak. A pair of wins this weekend and then a strong showing this evening. And a great showing from that Lynchburg defense. Once again able to get it over in 3. Bartemeyer with the first, then it was Green. South who blocked the net. Now Bartemeyer pushes near side. Leaper has it sent down. Up and over on the second. Players down on the court. Salafu denied. And Lynchburg had bodies clustered in one area of the hardwood and couldn't get to it. Nonetheless, great effort and hustle put on display, and another great showcase of what this Randolph middle can do against an opponent simply denied once after another. This Lynchburg offense was. Green, Bartemeyer, high up over the net on the third. Dominich for Hurt, through the hands of Bartemeyer, then Blackmore chases it down and Keogh gets it over. Another display of great hustle. Blackmore once again, then sends it in the body of a teammate. 2-1 Randolph. We saw the Wildcats put together some good play at the end of that third set too, so you wonder if that momentum has carried into set 4. Randolph did still drop that most recent set, 25-17, just in case you missed its conclusion. Leaper block, then able to get it up and over. Murdoch finds Bartemeyer. Salafu from the middle. Might have been deflected by Hurt. Daniels couldn't get a hand on it either way, and Lynchburg ties us up 2-all. The Hornets also with a win, a chance to improve to 3-1 at home, and you'll start to see this Lynchburg squad play on their home court more and more as the season progresses. Serve comes from Blackmore. Hurt takes it from the far side and sends it right back to Blackmore, who couldn't handle it. And talking more about the upcoming schedule for Lynchburg, about 2 home games throughout the rest of this week. Friday against Roanoke, and that's going to be Breast Cancer Awareness Night. I highly encourage you to check us out. We'll be going live at 5 o'clock. And then Saturday for homecoming. It's the first of 4 LHSN broadcasts coming to you consecutively on Saturday. Rucker rolls shot. Their defend is Hurt. Then playing it over is Simmons. Leaper, the third for Lynchburg. Hurt got an arm on it but couldn't keep it up high enough for Finnerty to get to it. Even between the first 6 points of set 4. Green will serve. Soft from Finnerty. Saw the Lynchburg defense was shaping up. Saw the opening on the near sideline and plenty of real estate to Finnerty to drop one into the bucket there. 4-3 Wildcats with Gustin now to serve. Serve goes to Keogh. Green. Spainhour blocked initially. Up and over from Daniels, who just gets it down. 50-50 call for Blackmore working the end line there. Elects to see if it will stay in, and that it does. Green pushes near side. Leaper down with authority. Randolph able to get it up now. Pushed, end line, and down. How about that play from Nicky Hurt? A little 3-0 run put together by Randolph. Don't count the Wildcats out just yet. Shallow serve. Green back. Spainhour finds Daniels. Now it's Washington setting up Hurt. Misses long on this occasion. It's going to be Morgan Clark to serve for Lynchburg. Updating you where the totals stand. Leading the way for Lynchburg in the kills department, Abby Leaper has 19. Next closest is Bree Spainhour with 6. Then 2 players at 5. That's Kaylee Keogh and Princess Salafu. Serve from Clark. She's one of a handful of players with an ace so far this evening for Lynchburg. Gustin there defensively. Washington leaves it out in front of Finnerty, who runs into the referee's stand. Play still live. Hurt denied at the net. Block and a point garnered by Bree Spainhour. A lot happening on that play, but nonetheless, Lynchburg cuts the deficit in half. Leading the way in the assist department, Maya Green with 38. Talking more about aces, Clark has 1, and then there's 2 from Bartemeyer. Keogh. Green has an ace as well. Serve to Daniels. Washington for Finnerty. It's deflected, then out of play. Point given to Lynchburg, so no deflection at the net. Instead, Hornets tie it up 6-all. Leading the way in the kills department for Randolph. Brooke Murdoch with 10, followed by Brooklyn Finnerty with 7, tied with Warren and Hurt. Dug up by Clark over on the second. Randolph builds in response. Comes over on the third from Finnerty, then back over on the first. Blackmore to lay out to get to it. Hurt from the far sideline. misses wide. Now some advice as Coach Matthews gets up off the bench, relaying some orders out to the 6 she has on the hardwood. Clark again to serve. Lynchburg ahead by 1 now. Nice response after a 3-0 run for Randolph, a 4-0 run engineered by the Hornets. Warren takes the third. Blackmore, Green, now Keogh, soft for the third. Really nice hustle, Finnerty. Hurt, over, Green, back set, Spainhour pushes to the center of the Wildcats defense. Randolph able to adjust. Washington sends it straight to Keogh. Green, Rucker, tools the block off the arms of Finnerty. And now a 5-0 Lynchburg run leads to a timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews. Wanted to talk it over and spark her team into a late run. Set 4, Lynchburg looking to close it out. The Wildcats looking to keep their hopes alive. You're watching Women's Volleyball on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA.
2-point lead for Lynchburg as Morgan Clark returns to the line after what is going into a large Lynchburg run, make it a total of 5-0 Hornets. Looking to create some more separation against the Wildcats. Hurt takes the hit from the near side. The attack then stopped by Spainhour. Keogh off of 2 Randolph defenders did out of play. Lead grows to 3. Longs to the service line, rewards Clark with her second ace on the night. And again, you look back to Lynchburg dropping that first set by 2, and the team we've seen on the floor since then, 25-16, 25-17. That was with a late 4-0 run put together by Randolph, and then here leading 10-6 after falling behind 6-3. Clark serves to Gustin. Washington with Finnerty taking the third. Little miscommunication as originally it was Rucker and Spainhour setting up for the block, but then soft shot comes their way. Doesn't know who has it. Again, communication always massive factor in play. Now Randolph looks to create a run of their own. Serve comes from McGinnis. Spainhour with authority. Has it dug up, though, by McGinnis. Warren from the far side. Soft and over. Keogh digs it up. Push sideline. Daniels keeps it in. Gustin sends it right back. Can this get over off the top of the rafter? And the point's given to Lynchburg. We've seen it bounce around the rafters, but as long as it stays on your half the court where you're building up, it's allowed to continue, but heading towards the other side. It also may have been out on the far side to that post up and over the net. It's hard to tell from our vantage point here at the Turner Gymnasium broadcast perch. McGinnis, attack from the back line. Spainhour does something similar. Blocked, though. Green digs it up. Clark, Keogh. Misses long and sends it towards the Randolph bench. Rocker will sub out, and on comes the libero, Blackmore. Lynchburg gets the point right back. Bartermeyer steps to the line. Out to 21 aces this season. And the starting lineup as a defensive specialist. Sophomore, up and over the net. Straight to Gustin. McGinnis from the 5, make that 6. Green pushes to Keogh. Gentle up and over the net. Warren straight to Clark. Keogh again takes the third. Washington sets up Warren, blocked. Daniels keeps it alive. Guinness this time has it scraped up by Bartemeyer. Salafu off the edge of her fingertips and landing softly in the heart of the Wildcats defense. 13-8. Lynchburg a little over halfway to closing it out with their third consecutive set after dropping the first in opening set, 25-23. Green for Salafu, denied by Nylon. And it's now a 4-point difference. But I bring back up losing that first set and who Lynchburg has looked like since then, because it goes against what we heard Coach Givens talk about before that home opener against Randolph-Macon, and that's got to be a great sign. Again, this is a young team, so you're still learning a lot about this squad and how players play with one another and so on and so forth. But that said, this type of response after losing the first set, that's a great sign that this young Lynchburg team has an unlimited supply of fight within them. And even when they fall behind, there's no giving up. Dominich got 4 aces this evening for Randolph. Nice slide, Salafu. With the Wildcats defense parting like the Red Sea, takes full advantage, 14-10 Hornets ahead of the Wildcats. But as noted, 4 aces for Dominich. Randolph as a team the rest of the way has 2, and that came from Melody Washington with 1, and then Tommy Lauren McGinnis with the other. Dominich tries to catch Lynchburg sleeping on the second. Leaper climbs the ladder, tried to go soft, but Murdoch says no, no, no. Sends it right back. Again, you see type of talent Murdoch can bring to the table. Led the country in total blocks coming into tonight with 97. And now has 3 this evening. So Murdoch hitting the century mark this evening in regards to total blocks. Salafu, another slide. Just able to walk the tightrope on the other end of the court. Salafu now with 6 kills this evening. Ties her with Spainhour and Keogh for second most. Leaper leads the way with 19. Murdoch has her shot dug up by Blackmore. Warren the second to touch it. They get the first. Hurt, soft. Leaper lays out, gets to it. Rucker blocked by Murdoch initially, and Murdoch then gets it over for Randolph. Near sideline, Leaper winds up off the arms of Warren, who's able to play it on the third. Green for Rucker, finds the net. Long volley. And just like we talked about in the first set, those long back and forths tend to carry more and more momentum the longer the play lasts, and certainly could be something Randolph tries to build upon, trailing by 3. Lynchburg, first to 15, which they've done in each of the last 3 sets now. Leaper, after the deflection, has to go out of play. 4-point advantage for the Hornets. Murdoch checks out. Daniels returns to the court. Green serves for Lynchburg. Finnerty just able to get it down in front of the end line. Now 9 kills tonight for Finnerty, trailing just Murdoch with 10. Melody Washington checks back in, as does Viviana Gustin. Gustin with the honors of the service line. Sends it to Leaper. Spainhour takes the third for Lynchburg. Finnerty from the middle. Up and over the block. And gracefully sets down point 14 for the Wildcats. Deficit's down to just 2. Gustin, service error. A potential momentum killer right there. Wildcats trying to keep it interesting. Forfeit a point right back to Lynchburg, who we've seen the Hornets go on a handful of runs at the service line through each of the last 2 sets. Can Morgan Clark fuel another? Knuckling serve goes to Daniels. Finnerty instead make that Simmons, who's trying to take a play out of the playbook of Finnerty, but instead leaves it just short and instead into the net. Now Lynchburg 2 points away from being the first to 20, which again they've done each of the last 2 sets. Washington feeds Hurt, who has it land directly on the end line. Hurt now with 8 kills this evening, surpassing the 7 for Logan Warren. Now second most, tied for a second best mark tonight, is Hurt. Blackmore with a dig. Spainhour gets the kill. Rucker will serve. Salafu just checked back in for Blackmore. Serve right to Gustin. Set comes from Washington. Rucker got the forearms on it, but the pass went all the way out towards the scores table. So 19-16. Lynchburg still not quite at that 20-point threshold. We'll have to earn it on defense. Daniels serves to Clark. Green back to Keogh. Dug up by Warren. Washington plays it over in 2. Spainhour. Gentle with the third. Daniels back to the setter, Washington. Who they'll say goes off the top of the net, then out of play instead off of the block put up by Lynchburg. 20-16. After dropping that first set, now the Hornets 5 points away from claiming the next 3 and closing out in 4, just as they did 2 seasons ago. And all told, Lynchburg would have 3 consecutive wins against Randolph. Serve goes to Gustin. Washington has to cover a ton of ground to get the second. Off the arms of Blackmore, and good hustle on display from Bartemeyer and Clark. Neither get to it. Subs for Randolph. Ainsley Simmons and Jada Dominich. They've checked in and out all night long together, and that trend continues. Randolph needing a run, trailing by 3. Serve goes to the defensive specialist Bartemeyer. Slide, Salafu, blocked to the net, tries to stick with it. Now Green, able to be there and recover. Keogh from the back line, has it dug up by McGinnis. Dominich pushes out wide, tooling the block is Warren. Randolph not going down easy. Again, the serve goes to Bartemeyer. Keogh takes the third. Played up by Daniels. The third comes from Finnerty. Clark there defensively, and then bringing to close the play as Princess Salafu. Eighth kill of the night for the junior from Nashville, Tennessee. Now it's freshman Kaylee Keogh with the honors. Dominich trying to set up Simmons. There defensively is Bartemeyer. Leaper low and just over the net on the third. Tapped over by Dominich. Lynchburg can't keep it in. 21-19. Warren will serve. Chance to cut the deficit in half. Hurt back onto the court as McGinnis checks out. Warren serves from the near side, sends it to Keogh. Salafu, been very active here in the fourth. Hurt over on the third. Salafu pushes up, Leaper. Right into the hands of Hurt, not bad for the middle blocker. Princess Salafu garners her second assist on the season. And she gets some much-deserved love on the sideline. Timeout called by Coach Matthews. Looking to give her team one final gasp. We'll step aside. 22-19 your score. Lynchburg looking to close it out against Randolph. You're watching women's volleyball on LHSN. Lynchburg's 3 points away from making it a 3-match win streak. Meanwhile, Randolph in jeopardy of dropping their 3rd consecutive contest against the Hornets. Cassie Blackmore brings us out of the timeout called by Coach Kara Matthews, the former Lynchburg Hornet, coaching the Wildcats. Murdoch has it dug up by Keogh. Blackmore then lays out, but nobody there for the 3rd for the Hornets. Now Murdoch will serve. Green sets up Keogh, charging in from the back line. Tominich lays out. Hurt takes the 3rd in for Randolph and pushes it just wide on the near sideline. An unforced error when Randolph really does not have many more of those to spare, if any. Spainhour checks in. Out goes Bartemeyer. Green serves. Goes to Hurt. Sent to the net. Rucker plays it up. Leaper, near sideline. Lands it down on the near side. And Lynchburg sees match point. Again, it'll be Green. Warren there with the first. Finerty on the 3rd. Leaper misses long. Instead found the foot of that sideline referee. It's a pretty good indication if it's in or out. 24-21. Now Randolph has Viviana Gustin trying to keep the Wildcats' hopes alive. They'll need a 5-0 run to win it, at least a 3-0 run to keep their hopes alive. Lynchburg just misses long. Close play there on the end line, but ruled out. Gustin serves to Leaper. Green sets. Spainhour denied. Blackmore able to chase it down and then popped over by Spainhour. Washington with the slide. Laying out. Finerty, though, wins the point for the Wildcats. 25-23. And a timeout called by Coach Hannah Givens. We'll keep it here as the Hornets need to win this point to try to close it out without the Wildcats getting to 24. And then we're talking about first one to find that 2-point differentiation will take home set 4. Hornets have been the dominant team throughout this 4th set, but give a ton of credit to Coach Matthews and Randolph. They have certainly battled their way back. The reason I want to keep it here is I want to talk about the upcoming schedule for both sides. So Lynchburg plays at home against Roanoke on Friday for breast cancer awareness, and then kick off homecoming weekend on Saturday morning against Ferrum. And on the other side, Randolph will take on Ferrum as well this week. That'll be played at home on Thursday evening before on Saturday playing host to Roanoke. So same 2 opponents over the next 2 games for these 2 teams. It just comes down to flipping what day they will take on one another. Players back out onto the hardwood. Short-lived timeout. Gustin looking to tie us up. Lynchburg looking to close it out. Serve to Blackmore. Spainhour with Leaper then over on the 3rd. Washington slides, soft from Finerty. Keogh's there. Popped up Spainhour. Back to Leaper. Randolph can't get it up off the floor. Hurt lays out but couldn't get to it. 25-23. No shortage of excitement tonight. Lynchburg, after dropping the opening set, battles back to win the next 3 despite a late scare from Randolph. 25-13, Wildcats take the first, then Lynchburg wins each of the next 3, 25-16, 25-17, 25-23. Some final thoughts, Randolph. Now, if you want to include this as a part of the weekend we saw with the quad match or quad tournament, 1 for 2 between Kenyon, Johnson Wales, and now Lynchburg tonight, who was, of course, hosting. Look, it was a 4-match losing streak before that, and I think this team showed a ton of fight, especially in that first set. I think there's still something to build upon for Coach Matthews and the Wildcats throughout the rest of the season, but they now fall to 1-7 in conference play, 10-11 overall. Lynchburg winners of 3 in a row. And sometimes it takes that little bit of a non-conference kickstarter. That certainly is a catalyst to some great play. After dropping that first set, I was thoroughly impressed with what Lynchburg put out on the floor in each of the next 3 sets, including this 4th one where they, again, survive a late scare from the Wildcats. And Lynchburg now 9-9 on the season, 3-4 in conference action. That's going to do it for us here at Wayne Profit Court. I'd like to give a shout-out to my director, Sam Rice, our camera operator, Brian Flowers, and that will do it for us at Wayne Profit Court. My name is TJ Wingard, and until next time, we are signing off.